Miss Adams, you've certainly had a very interesting educational journey. 8 schools in 5 years.
Hey, freak. This is a closed practice.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
After a couple of months of seeing people talk about this, people telling me that I need to watch it, I now finally have seen it. So, anyway, when this was announced that they were doing a live-action Wednesday show, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to do when she's a teenager? Or are you going to do it as an adult? Because what I heard was they were trying to think of her being an adult. And I'm like, well, there's only one person to do that, and it's Christina Ricci. Then they were like, nope, she's going to be a teenager. And I went, okay, let's see what you do. Then it was announced who is playing Wednesday, and it was Jenna Ortega, who I saw before in X, and then Scream 5, and now the upcoming Scream, coming in March, which, yes, I'm seeing that. But, you know, she was in other stuff, like Netflix's You. She was in a couple of Disney stuff, too. So she's very much been a child actor, and now, ever since, you know, like with X, and then Scream, and then now this, and then the upcoming Scream, and then, yeah, who knows what's gonna do. So she's quickly becoming not just a kind of like an icon in horror, like super quickly, but you know, she's quickly becoming like one of those actresses that I'm like, yeah, you got something, you're very talented. All right, let's see what else you do. So when it was announced that she was going to be Wednesday, I'm like, all right, let's see it. And I know a lot of people, they're just like, we're still a bit hesitant about it. Then the teaser trailer came out, and it said, oh, it's done by Tim Burton. Okay. And then they showed what she looked like, and people were just like, all right, we're in. So I'm like, see what happens when you give them time? Just stop. So yeah, I saw the trailer, and I was like, you know what, this looks really good. And then more of the casting came out, and it was announced that, yeah, Christina Ricci was going to be in this, and I'm going, that's awesome. And then it was announced who Gomez and Morticia were played by, and it was Louise Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'm like, you know what, that's really good. That's really good casting. Like, the casting is nailed. That's awesome. Even this, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but so the story is Wednesday gets expelled from her high school because she helps out Pugsley, and she gets sent off to the school where Gomez and Morticia met, called Nevermore Academy. Very Edgar Allan Poe. And then as she's there, she's kind of like trying to stay by herself, but they're like, no, you need to branch out more. And she's like, no, if I do, I'm going to kill myself. So as the series goes on, she does expand more, but then also she finds out that there's this, like, people are mysteriously getting killed, and there's mystery going on, and she's the one that's trying to solve it. This was a big surprise for me. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying, like, this is really good, like, you definitely need to watch it, and then it just kept, more people kept watching it and watching it and watching it, and, like, you know what, I wanted to watch this, I just didn't have the time. So when it was just super foggy outside, and it was just so bad that I couldn't see, I was like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. To then I fell asleep, and then woke up, like, very early in the morning, and I'm like, I want to watch something, but I don't know. And I'm like, well, I have Wednesday. So I started watching that, and then I went, maybe I can binge the entire season today. And that's exactly what I did. I binged all 8 episodes in one day. And I'm very glad I did, because this was a very well written, very well acted show. I like how Wednesday was very much coming out of her comfort zone, like coming out of the bubble. Even though, everyone around her is just kind of going like, yeah, you should do this. Like, even when she does branch out to do something, they're just like, oh, that's great, you're branching out. Wait, what about this? And then she's just kind of like, you just be happy that I'm doing this. So, and that's and you can kind of see yourself in that, because there's always that situation or something where he's just like, I don't want to do that, but I have to do this. And then people are just like, great, you're doing this, but wait, what about this? Like, you didn't go all the way. I'm just like, you better be happy that I even came. Like, so don't do that. So I think that's really funny. And also the fact that, the show also brings, because it takes place in modern times, they do a lot of like, yeah, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, you're not on the gram, or they throw a lot of that like pop culture stuff nowadays, and most of the time I'm like, okay, I feel like you're doing it for the sake of doing it, but with this, it actually made sense. So I'm like, okay, if it makes sense and it's well written and it's clever the way they do it, then I'm okay. But if you're just throwing it in just to throw it in, then I don't like it. This doesn't throw it in just to throw it in. So it didn't annoy me. And also I gotta talk about Ortega, because she went all out on Wednesday. She, in the show, she does fencing, which she actually did learn how to fence. She plays the cello, which she does a cello version of Painted Black, which is awesome. And I'm like, that's you doing it, ain't it? And I'm like, that's awesome. And yeah, because she did learn how to do the cello. The famous, the dance sequence that became a meme, and then people are dancing to it, and all that stuff. Even Ortega was asked about it. She's like, yeah, I'm over that. Like, I'm over it. Because it's just like, that's the thing that people concentrated on, except for the entire rest of everything else. And I'm like, I can see your point, but it's the fact that you're taking this character that is very much like in their own space, and you're branching them out, and you're having, this character dance. It's like, okay, that would be off-putting, and I'd see where a lot of people, would focus on that. So I get where she's coming from, because if I was like writing it and I wrote that in, and then everyone was just like, oh, that dance sequence, okay, what about the fencing and cello? Yeah, there's that, but the dancing, I'm just like, okay, I would be kind of annoyed. But I think Ortega, I think she's an incredible actress, very much so. And she definitely went all out for this. And also, I gotta talk about the other cast. Christina Ricci she's always awesome. I love seeing her in stuff. Seeing Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman as Gomez and Morticia, I'm just like, yeah, that's just awesome the way it's written. And the principal of school, I forget her name, but she's Captain Plaza in Star Wars Episode 7 and 8. She's kind of like Kylo Ren's like secondary. It's her being the principal, and I'm like, that's just great. And then the one that got me completely by surprise, because what I heard about it before the season came out, and then I ignored everything about it. Like, if I saw something on social media, it just went right past it. Was Fred Armisen being Uncle Fester. Once he pops up, I'm like, oh my god, is that who I think it is? And that's the thing, it's like, it looks very unnoticeable, but I see it in the face. Like, I see him. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So it was great. I thought the cast was very spot on. I think the writing was spot on. Now, couple problems. I think the first couple episodes it's definitely slow, but then that happens with a lot of shows where if it's the first season in a show and you're setting up all this stuff, it's going to take a while to get to for it to pick up. That's definitely a ding, but it's not a huge ding because it's happened so many times with other shows. But once it finally gets into the mystery of like what's going on, they do like little snippets in the first couple of episodes, but that's not the main focus of it. The main focus of the first couple of episodes is Wednesday trying to, get used to everything, and her trying to branch out and make quote unquote friends, which it's kind of weird, but I would say after the first couple episodes, when they do get into the mystery, it's like, okay, this is where it picks up. So the first couple episodes, it's mainly just setting everything up and then setting up everything, and then once the mystery kicks in, it's like, okay, so this is why this show exists. Because yeah, I mean, you can watch a whole show about Wednesday, getting used to everything, but once the mystery kicks in, it's like, all right, so this here we go. So I would say first 3 episodes, maybe 3.5. After that, then it starts picking up with the mystery. And I will say this about the mystery. The mystery they did, I think, was really good. It keeps you guessing on, like, okay, who is it? And after a while, when they reveal what it is, it's like a who is it and who's this other and who's another person that's involved with it. And I'm going like, I think I know who it is, because they're throwing like certain characters at you, and you're just like, I don't think you're it, because a lot of times shows do this where they throw a character like this and then they throw a curveball at you, or as I like to call it, a Burton ball, which I'll get to that in a minute. Where it throws you off, and then when it's revealed who it is, I'm just like, I knew it the whole time. You did not fool me. Once I saw this character, I'm like, oh, maybe it's this person, and I stuck with that, and I knew it. But it wasn't one of those things where it's like, I knew it. It's one of those things like, ha, I knew it, and I was still enjoying it. And going back to the Burton ball, because this is written by Burton, at times you completely forget that he did it. But then when some of the characters, creature designs come out, it's like, oh, that looks very Burton. Like, there it is. There's the Burton ball that got thrown at me. There it is. And that's another thing too, is that the CGI, it's minimum, but the times they use it, it's like, oh, okay. See, if it looked, I guess, natural, then maybe I would give it a pass. But because they're doing a CGI version of something that Burton obviously drew, it's like, yeah, this looks like garbage. So that's definitely a ding. But overall, I think this was a very well written show, very well acted, very well casted. I was having fun with it the whole time, and I don't think this gets amazing. Like I said, if the pacing was a little bit better, and if some of the CGI didn't look like okay, I'm just more confused than scared or shocked right now, then this would definitely get a higher grade, maybe an amazing. But it gets a great. I'm still excited to see what they do next, and the fact that it got renewed for season 2, I'm like, yeah, here's my shocked face. Like, I was not really shocked at all, because, especially the way they end it, they're just like yeah, this is the end, but is it though? But yeah, when I heard that like, yeah, you know, the amount of people that are saying like it's really good, the amount of reviews people saying it's really good, and then it's like this currently the second most watched thing on Netflix's history. Like it beat third place was Dahmer. This Wednesday got second, and then first place is still Stranger Things season 4. I'm just like, yeah, it's only a matter of time before season 2 is gonna get called, and then they called it. I'm like, here's my shocked face. So we'll see what they do with season 2, but you know, if season 2, for some weird reason, if it doesn't end up working out, or if it's, you know, the writing's not on par, you know, I still thoroughly enjoyed this, but I'm still excited to see what they do next.
Want to take a stab at being social?
I do like stabbing.
Little did I know I'd be stepping into a nightmare. Full of mystery, mayhem, and murder.
I think I'm going to love it here.